Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi Charlotte et aujourd'hui nous allons regarder et étudier un poème qui s'appelle Je suis ta maman. Je suis ta maman. Okay everyone, my name's Charlotte and in this club video we're going to be looking at a French poem which is called Je suis ta maman, which is I am your mother. So, on y va? Let's go. Right, now, first of all, this video is a couple of weeks later than intended, so club members have been told that this would be a little bit later. What has happened is that I went on holiday. Je suis allée en vacances en Italie. Et voilà, donc excusez-moi pour le retard, mais voilà. Okay, donc, we're going to look at this poem. I've written the words up behind me and I've underlined certain parts. The reason for that is that this poem is addressing the child of the mother, the child of the author. So, for example, in the title itself, dans le titre, on trouve le mot ta. Okay, so ta is the word which means your for when you're addressing someone in the singular, informal tu form. Okay, it's the a possessive adjective which describes maman. So it's a feminine word, maman. La maman, la mère, the mother, the mummy, the mum if you like. And so if it was a masculine word like your father, it would be ton père. Je suis ton père. Je suis ta mère. Je suis ta sœur. Je suis ton frère, etc. So this word means your, but it precedes a singular feminine object or noun, maman, and it's also in the tu form. So it's not votre mère, it's the singular informal. Okay, so we're going to see some underlined parts of this poem, and those underlined parts expressly show you that this is addressing one child. However, those parts that are underlined would change slightly into the vous form if you're addressing two or more children. Okay, so the vous form of address can be used not only for one person when it's polite, when it's like formal, but it can also be for one or more people when it's plural. Okay, so whether you're addressing your children and there's more than one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 50, whatever, whether you're addressing a room of doctors or some neighbours, you can use the vous form comfortably if it's plural, okay? Whether it's informal or formal. So the parts that are underlined would look slightly different if you were addressing one child. So with that in mind, let's have a look at this. So this video is for my French club members. This is a monthly video that I create. It's a tutorial and it's linked to a digital copy of a handout that I create. Sometimes it's content that I've created just myself. There'll be activities, there might be links to further study or reading online. Sometimes though I borrow content and I adapt it. So whenever that's the case, I'll give you the link to the online content or wherever else the content may appear so that you can find it and so that you know it has been created by someone else, adapted by me for the purpose of teaching. So French club members will have this document via email later today, and it's got something a little bit different to usual. We haven't done this for a while. 3 different verb tables, one for the verb traverser, one for savoir, and one for être. So 2 irregular but very common verbs there, and one that's a regular ER verb. So they're just in the present tense for your reference, okay? Because it's worth refreshing yourself whenever you can with common verbs or verb conjugation forms. Then we've got a few little activities at the bottom. Okay, so anyone who isn't a club member, you can become a club member. You'll get a monthly handout to your email along with a link to my videos, which will take you to here. You'll also get an exclusive discount if you book a block of lessons with me during the time of your membership. So otherwise you can just watch and leave me a comment if you would like, if you have any queries, if I've made any errors, or if I've overlooked anything. And I am quite busy these days. J'ai 2 enfants, but I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, let's read the poem. Je suis ta maman. Peu importe ce que nous traversons. Peu importe combien nous nous disputons. Pardon. Peu importe ton caractère, peu importe tes bêtises, peu importe nos silences, peu importe ton absence. Un jour, je suis devenue maman. Et je sais que dans la fin, au fond de ton être, tu le sais, je serai toujours là pour toi, mon enfant, mon amour. So, I'll read that again because I just sort of read it off the sheet on my monitor. Now I'm going to read it and zoom in so you can see what I'm reading as I go along, okay? So that was quite a good exercise just for listening practice. So, je suis ta maman. Ta in front of maman. So that's ta, your, when you're addressing someone in the tu form, and it comes before a singular feminine noun. Peu importe, so that means no matter what or regardless of. That's normally followed by a noun, but sometimes it's followed by something else. So here we have peu importe ce que nous traversons. So regardless of or no matter what we go through. So traverser is useful because it has various meanings. So it can mean to experience or to go through, basically. Let's see, it can mean to go across something. Yeah, to cross over, to traverse. There you go. Yeah, to get through to someone or to penetrate into something. But to live through it, or to experience or to go through is great for this poem, okay? So I would translate that as no matter what we go through. Nous traversons. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit there because I'm not sure that you can see that. So traverser. Allez, voilà. Traversons. So verbs in the present tense in the new form have ONS at the end. So traversons. Peu importe, you got a lot of this, so if anything you should take that little useful phrase away. Peu importe, no matter what, regardless of, okay? So, je suis ta maman, I'm your mother. Peu importe ce que nous traversons. No matter what. Ce que is kind of that which or what, no matter what. Nous is we, subject pronoun we. Traversons is the verb traverser in the new form. No matter what we go through. Peu importe combien, no matter combien. C'est combien? How much, okay? How much. Peu importe combien nous nous disputons. Now, se disputer is like to argue, right? I almost said discuter, which is slightly different. But se disputer. I'm just checking on word reference because you can find it on there. Se disputer is a reflexive verb. Yeah, so quarrel, argue, fight, depending on how you translate that. Fight isn't always, like physically fighting isn't always se disputer. That's more kind of like to have a dispute, you know, to have like a verbal dispute. You might have se battre, which is battre is like to battle or to hit, to fight physically, so it's slightly different. So no matter how much we argue, for example. Peu importe ton caractère, no matter what your character. Peu importe tes bêtises. Now this, I don't know how to translate that in a kind of polite way. You can look at bêtises, no matter what you get up to, basically, no matter what your mistakes. So bêtises in the plural, yeah, stupidity, yeah, mistakes. Foolishness, that's a good one, no matter what silly things you do, basically. So bêtises, some people might translate that in the kind of vulgar way, bullshit, no matter what bullshit. Okay, it's an awful thing to say, but sometimes that is how it's translated, okay, especially in like films. Peu importe tes bêtises. So ton caractère is the masculine singular way of saying your when you're talking to someone in the tu form. Tes bêtises is plural, so because it is a plural, whatever your silly things that you've done. So we've got ta, ton, and tes. They all mean your. These two are singular in front of a feminine noun, ta, ton in front of a singular masculine noun, and tes in front of a plural noun, whether it's masculine or feminine, okay? So those would change to, in the plural form, if you're saying your, as in yours, yours, and yours, like my three, oh, excusez-moi, c'est mon enfant. Mon enfant est là avec ma mère, ma maman, et elle pleure. Donc, excusez-moi pour elle, mais c'est parce que moi je suis là dans le bureau et elle n'est pas là avec moi. Donc c'est pour ça. Pardon. So, peu importe tes bêtises, peu importe nos silences. So, no is another possessive there, okay? So that means our something, plural. Notre would be our, like notre mère, our mother. Nos parents, our parents, okay? So the adjective, the possessive adjective in French will change depending on the gender of the noun or the thing that belongs to someone, but also whether it's singular or plural, right? So it's a bit confusing. In English you just say your, our, his, her. In fact, when it comes to his or her, something or other, the possessive adjective depends on the gender of the person who owns the object rather than the object and its gender or number. So it's a bit different, okay? Difficult for English speakers to get their head around this. No silence, so no matter or regardless of our silences. Peu importe ton absence. So we've got a few little sort of rhyming sounds here, haven't we? Silence, absence. Peu importe ton absence. So ton absence, regardless of your absence when you're not there, whether or not you're there, basically. Un jour, one day, je suis devenue. Now, when you see je suis, I know it looks like the present tense, I am. Sometimes it is. But with certain verbs like devenir, which is to become, certain verbs don't use the auxiliary verb avoir. You don't say j'ai devenu, I have become. To form the past tense, the passé composé, like this, with the verb devenir, you need to use je suis as the first part of that past tense, okay? So devenu means became. And this bit here means I became, like I have become or I became. So this is the first part, the auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb. Je suis. And then the past participle here. Should have done that with a different colour, shouldn't I? From the verb devenir. I'll write that. Where can I write that? Oh, voilà. Ici. Right, I'll write it on here if I can find my green pen. So devenir, devenir, to become. And it's one of several, shall I say, verbs which take être, the verb être as its auxiliary verb. So instead of saying, if I want to put that in the past tense, instead of saying j'ai devenu, I have become. Comme ça. Non, il ne faut pas. Ça ne marche pas comme ça. Non. Avoir, non. With devenir, I have to use the past participle, which is devenu. Okay, that's not quite regular looking. Devenir. Oh no, actually it's not. It's not regular looking because it's an IR verb. IR verbs you'd think end with an I in the past participle. Like, there's a lot going on with this verb, to be fair. So the main thing is, if you want to say I became, like I became your mother, I became a mother, you need to use je suis devenu instead of j'ai devenu. I think I've done, I must have done a video on that before. Je suis devenu, I think I have for one of my courses. So je suis devenu, let's check on the monitor that you can actually see that. Ah oui, je suis devenu. There's an E at the end as well. That's something that happens with verbs that are conjugated with être, the verb to be. Je suis is from the verb to be. It means I am. So it's like saying I am became, I became, right? Ooh, the past participles agree in gender with the number of people who are the subject or subjects. So je suis devenu has an E on the end. If that's all a little bit much to take in, don't worry about the hows and whys. But just remember, je suis devenu means I became. Okay, and it's the passé composé, which is made of two parts. A tense, which is the most common past tense, and it means I became or I have become. It's like the same thing in French, okay? So let's look at where that is on here. Just at the bottom. Un jour, one day, je suis devenue, I became, maman, became a mother, et je sais, and I, now what verb is that? Je sais. Ah, je sais. C'est le verbe savoir. So that's the verb savoir, which means to know, right? It's one of two verbs which means to know, but here we're going to concentrate on that one, savoir. Je sais que, I know that. Okay? Je sais que, I know that. Dans la fin, in the end, at the end of the day kind of thing. Ultimately, that sort of thing. Au fond de ton être, au fond de, au fond de. Au fond de is like in the depth of something, le fond. Or at the, sometimes fond can be the back of something, but au fond de ton être, un être is a being, like un être humain, a human being. In the, I would say in the depths of your being, deep within, basically. Tu le sais. Oh look, tu le sais, that's the tu form as well. And ton être is ton because it comes in front of a masculine noun. Tu le sais, that's also from the verb savoir. Je sais, I know, et tu le sais, and you know it too. Tu le sais aussi toi, you also know it. So the first two conjugations, or the first two lines, je and tu, of the verb savoir in the present tense, the verb looks the same. Let's just show you on here. Je sais, tu sais, il, elle, on sait. I know, you know, he, she, one knows. Or it knows, if you like. So savoir is a useful verb. Nous savons, sounds like the word for soap, doesn't it? It's got an S on the end though. Vous savez, you guys know, or you will know, or you, individual, formal, you know. Ils, elles savent. Bit irregular, very irregular, very useful verb. Think of when people say savvy. If someone's savvy, it means they've got the know-how, they know something. Au fond de ton être, tu le sais. Right, so je serai, this is a future tense. Excusez-moi pour mon enfant qui peut. J'ai presque fini, mon enfant, mon amour. That's the last line of this. So, je serai, I will be, so that's from the verb être. Je serai toujours, always, I will be always. I will always be. Là. Là, an L and an A with a little grave accent. That means there, as in ici, là. Ici, là. Je serai toujours là. I will always be there. That was the next bit. Pour toi. For you. For you. Mon enfant. My child. Mon enfant. Mon amour. Mon enfant comes in front, that's in front of an, oh, what's that thing called? It's called a singular masculine noun. Enfant. So we've got mon in front of it, mon enfant. And you kind of pronounce the N because it's in front of a vowel. And then mon amour, it's the same thing, it's in front of a masculine singular noun. So we've got mon instead of ma or me. And it starts with an A, so we pronounce that N. Okay. I was going to go through some of the underlying bits, but I can hear my little girl crying a little heart out, so I think je dois finir. I must finish now. But what I will do is I'll just read through it one more time. Et puis, faut que je finisse, faut que je parte. Okay. Oh oui, oui, il pleut. Okay, let's see if I can read it one more time. I'll just zoom out. Funny, isn't it, how my daughter really needs me when I'm doing something about how I'll always be there for her. J'arrive. Je suis ta maman. Peu importe ce que nous traversons. Peu importe combien nous nous disputons. Peu importe ton caractère. Peu importe les bêtises ou tes bêtises. Peu importe nos silences. Peu importe ton absence. Un jour, je suis devenue maman. Je sais que dans la fin, au fond de ton être, tu le sais, je serai toujours là pour toi, mon enfant, mon amour. And with that, je vais trouver mon enfant et merci beaucoup et à la prochaine fois. Thank you very much, guys. Until next time. Au revoir.